riding the GS 1200 started about a couple weeks ago. Test rider Chris, he always surprises us in what bike he gets, and lo and behold, for the trip to the Laguna Seca MotoGP event, he bought a BMW R1200GS. He had ridden the bike previously, somebody else's, but we'd never expected him to buy one. See, Chris is an extremely capable, fast rider, maybe even more so when he's two up. He pretty much astounds you when he's two up, what he can do in a comfort level, basically passing most people anywhere and everywhere. But I had recently helped somebody do their demo rides for a BMW dealership. They asked me to lead their demo rides, so I obliged and did it. And riding all the new BMWs, I was impressed with all of them virtually, very, very much. The new F800, the smaller single-cylinder bikes, everything I rode I was very impressed with, except the 1200GS. Now I know it's one of the top-selling, best bikes around, but I just didn't have a good feel for the bike on that day. This kind of drove Chris nuts, so for a couple weeks I kept getting a phone call, hey, when are you going to come pick up my bike? Take it out and tell me what it is you don't like about the GS. So after about the third, maybe fourth phone call, I said, okay, I'll get the bike and I'll ride it. I mean, I never turned down a ride. And here I am. And I've been riding the bike for some time now, and have to say I love this motorcycle, as I expected to originally, but I had no proof of that with my short stint at the demo rides. This bike is equipped with the Remus Revolution exhaust and the header pipe that goes with it, so it's got a much more deep, rich, and louder sound, but not over the top. It's basically a sound that you love. You can live with it, and it makes you feel good to ride it. You know, we're all looking for that right sound, and this certainly has it for the BMW. Through this mic it's not going to come up very good, but some of the other video we have, you can hear the bike really, really well. So after the initial trade-off of the bike with Chris, I kept getting more phone calls. Well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? So my reply for the first 3 or 4 times was, I hate it, piece of junk. And I wouldn't comment beyond that. When in reality, I loved the bike, I was very impressed with it, but I didn't want to give him the satisfaction, at least not yet, on what I thought about it. So finally, a little ways into that, I had to cough up the truth, and I told Chris, you know, this sucker has amazing steering. It is so predictable, leisurely, it's very precise, it is very, very confidence-inspiring in all that you do. I haven't found a single situation yet where this steering wasn't pretty much flawless and something to love. So this is why I find myself on this low 40s to mid 40s temperature coming into fall Southern California night, and once again riding the GS and loving pretty much every moment of it. The other thing I told Chris originally was, hey, the brakes, you're right, they're excellent. They're quick hitting. They are virtually, or if not, sport bike spec. There are a few sport bikes with stronger, even harder hitting brakes, but they need it. This bike does not. Chris couldn't live with a bike that didn't have instant-on braking and very strong brakes, and the BMW delivers very surprisingly. Very nice. You know, I must say that the bike has anti-lock brakes that can be turned on and off. Another area that the bike excels in is comfort. Plenty of leg room. You don't get that knee bend that kills you after hours in the saddle. Wide bars, which are part of the bike's wonderful handling and turning, and precise steering. You do have to put some good effort into the barbs at times, but you don't really notice it. It just all flows and works well together. Like I say, with the Remus pipe, it just sounds wonderful. Let's open it up some. Now at night, you just don't want to go fast where you can't see, because there are critters. I can tell you about that firsthand. So you always need to be safe, watching out for animals. Fortunately, in California, we don't have near as much as most of the other states. But all it takes is one, and I try to remember that always. The power from the GS has a good strong hit with the Remus pipe on it. Upper mid-range hits and goes. What you don't get is a really hard, quick hit of acceleration like you would on an inline 4. That can be good, and that can also work against you. You need to turn on the throttle a little bit later. Have a little bit more to deal with when it does come on. That's what's so nice about this bike. The way it comes on, it's just so predictable and usable. Inline 4s are certainly quicker in areas, but rideability and enjoyment are big on my list, and the GS delivers. Anti-lock brakes are a thing of personal choice. Off-road, they're a lifesaver. If you hit gravel, sand across the road, they're a lifesaver as well, as long as you experience the brakes and know what they do, so you're not surprised when they hit. Now, especially off-road, there's some times you want to slide the rear end and so forth, and that you would want the brake, the anti-lock off for that. We'll do an anti-lock stop up here in a bit. We put all bikes through panic braking, straight line, about 60 miles an hour, and do it in the same spot to see how a bike is reacting to very hard braking. All you do with the BMW and the anti-lock system is grab and go for broke. There's nothing you can do other than squeeze it and wait for it to do its job.